opportunity, they drop the ball and continue the never-ending string of bad decisions. There isn't much to say about the dialogue except that it sucks. It really, really sucks. Here are a few examples of how out of touch, ignorant, and on the nose it can be.
I don't know that you're ready to...
What, to know the truth? Or know I did it?
You have a cane and a scar. All my scars are inside.
I take pictures of you while you're in your
I do this to myself.
Movies and shows are a wonderful way to open up a dialogue.
This is Tyler, my fellow ass-class colleague and extreme outcast.
It's like the last person in the world left that doesn't know what his Patronus is.
fucking muggles.
Right?
I had to constantly remind myself that most of these characters are supposed to be 17, because the words they say sound like what adults would imagine a teenager to sound like, instead of what a teenager actually sounds like. It's not a complete loss, however. There are some genuine and convincing uses of relatable and memorable dialogue, but I think it's more down to the talent of the actors above the quality of the writing. The presentation of the show is easily one of the strongest aspects. It is extremely inconsistent, but when it finds its footing, it can be quite visually compelling when it wants to be. Just little techniques I noticed, such as having the camera stay rolling, to do both a shot and reverse shot in the same take, make what could otherwise be a pretty flat scene a lot more flowing and dynamic. Episode 8 even begins with an extremely well executed one-er that transitions through nearly every major character in a way that felt natural and without being too show-offy. It really felt like the best way to shoot a sequence like that, and they made it work pretty well. I noticed that the visuals varied mostly on who was directing each episode. It was either creative, well shot and entertaining, or extremely by the books and forgettable. The music also varies massively in quality. The original score sometimes works, but at times it's far too intrusive. I also don't particularly understand the choice to have it be synced. I guess because referencing the 80s is what's in at the moment. I think this same team with better base material could do a pretty good job at making a story like this come to life. But like everything else in the show, it's held back by how repetitive and poorly written it is. I think the acting is the main reason anyone would defend this show. Dylan Minnette as Clay Johnson is an extremely talented actor who pours his absolute heart and soul into every scene he's in. He's probably the best actor in the show. It's just such a shame that most of the time he's relegated to awful scenes with Ghost Hannah while spouting out ridiculous tween dialogue. He really doesn't have much to work with. And the same thing applies to pretty much everyone. I really enjoyed Derek Luke and Kate Walsh, who gives it her all. And quite a lot of the expansive cast is quite good. I think a couple of notable weak performances, even with the terrible writing holding them back twofold, but Devin Druid as Tyler and Miles Heiser as Alex. These poor actors have two of the worst characters in the show to try and make work. They could probably be fine with the right material and direction, but I find these characters in particular to be...
When I was a kid, I always loved when my parents